we feel that women should be in a certain position. We've been conditioned like that. And so when you get a woman who is in a different area, an engineer, or in a political sphere, she's vociferous, then you are giving unnecessary names because you are not supposed to be there.
Welcome to Election Desk on Ghanaweb TV. My name is Matilda Boate-Nate, and today we are discussing women in politics. Over the years, Ghana has seen low representation of women in parliament. Currently, we have just 14.5% of our women in parliament. But the few women who have ventured into politics have excelled. And today we are sitting with such persons. And so we'll be back. I'll introduce my guest to you right after this break. Stay tuned. Welcome back. My guest for today is Dr. Otiko Afisa Djaba. She was the former National Women's Organizer for NPP and also former Minister for Gender, Children and Social Protection. Madam, you are welcome to Election Desk.
And I'm the current founder and executive director of the Henry Djaba Memorial Foundation.
Nice. Maybe we'll get into that later. But for now, we want to find out from you your experience. How has the political landscape in Ghana evolved in terms of gender representation? What's your idea on that? How has it evolved?
We have had a few gains from Dr. Kwame Nkrumah's time when he instituted a form of affirmative action by bringing in 10 women.
Okay.
And then during Rawlings's era, Madame Nana Konadu-Agyemang Rawlings, also after the Beijing and what have you, started an affirmative action proposal to try and get the bill to go through. But it was just the draft, the initial stages. There was a women's machinery that was set up. And 31st December, they really empowered women across Ghana. Then we moved to Kufuor's era, where he also brought in the Ministry of Women and Children, which is now Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection. And so throughout all these governments, different things have been done, and the numbers of women have come up a bit. Sometimes it has dropped for different reasons, and currently we are at the 14.5% in Parliament. At the assemblies, we are under 5% at the district assembly level. In terms of leadership roles in the civil service and other areas like traditional areas or the National Council of State, the numbers of the women are very, very meager. And so I would say that we have not done well. The slow way of empowering women and ensuring that our space in the political landscape is valued, is treasured, we have not achieved that. Especially when it is the woman who has given birth to all our sons.
Exactly.
It is the woman who has brought out all these male leaders. The president was not born from a tree.
Definitely.
Yeah. Everybody in this world has come from a woman. And if that woman can give birth to all these sons who are leaders, what stops her from being a leader and being part of leadership? She is a leader in the home anyway.
So to you, what are some of the barriers that are still in existence as we speak today for women who want to venture into politics? Are there still barriers anyway? Or is it that women don't want to even venture into politics? Or there are some barriers which prevent them from taking up such roles as...
The barriers are as long as the history of Ghana.
Okay.
Ghana has not been fair to the women of this country. And patriarchy is the number one, because we believe that it's a man's world. We live in a male-dominant society. It has informed everything that we have done as a society, which is unacceptable, which is wrong. It's how we were brought up. But when you are brought up in a certain way and it doesn't inure to your benefit, then you need to change. So patriarchy is one area. our customs and traditions have not helped. It's related to the patriarchy, where we believe that tradition says that you must marry by a certain age, by 16, and all of that. The law has changed those things. Female genital mutilation, all the violence against women. These are barriers that stop women from fulfilling their full potential.
Okay.
The fact that women and girls did not go to school early. You're just supposed to get married, do the house chores.
Yes.
So, education, and then poverty. If you're not working, how are you going to get money to empower yourself? So poverty is another barrier. The lack of opportunity to be in the public space. In rural Ghana especially, when a woman has a son and there is a community meeting or a family meeting, the son and the husband will be at the meeting.
It's true.
But the mother will, it's not a women's affair, so women should stay behind.
And you think such stuff
Those are barriers.
They still exist?
They do, in some places.
Okay.
They do. And that is unacceptable, even in terms of contraception. A woman must decide whether she wants to use this form of contraception or not. But it's the man who decides. And how many children should we have? It's the man who decides. We are going for transfer. It's the man who decides. How many women have been asked to go on transfer and the man will follow? She might even not go because her husband is or partner is in a particular position. So those things have not helped. Stereotyping. Mm-hmm. Women should be teachers and nurses and what have you. It's okay to be a nurse, be a women's organizer. I was a women's organizer. It's okay. But why? If you are the chairman, what's wrong with it? Or the managing director? Mm-hmm. So those are the barriers that we feel that women should be in a certain position. We've been conditioned like that. And so when you get a woman who is in a different area, an engineer, or in a political sphere, she's vociferous, then you are giving unnecessary names because you are not supposed to be there. You are supposed to be at home in the kitchen and cooking. But master, there is a blender now, and there is a, how do you call those things? The food processor, and all those things that make cooking easy.
It's true.
So it's important that roles should be shared. And then the burden of house chores makes it very difficult for the girl child to be able to cope. By the time she finishes fetching the water and sweeping, when she goes to school, she'll sleep. And when she comes back home, it continues. So she doesn't have time for homework and go on the internet. Meanwhile, the boys are doing those things. So those roles discriminate against girls and put them like second-class citizens. So
it means it just starts from even the home. The parents,
from the day you are born as a girl child,
as a girl child,
you are doomed in a way, unless you get education and the other things that we'll be talking about to take you out of subservience. You are like a servant in your home because you have to clean after your brothers, your father, your everything is on the girl and the mother. And you know, care, if the husband is not well, some relative is not well, it's also the woman. She's overburdened by house chores. Meanwhile, unpaid work. This is work that if you were bringing a house help, you'd have to pay the person.
Definitely.
But the roles of women in this important area of nurturing and bringing up the family is not quantified and is not appreciated. Women are not valued enough in our system as we speak. And that is a barrier which makes women not feel confident, not feel courageous or bold to be able to come out and show what they are capable of. Because women are fantastic human beings. They are capable of giving birth, go and have the baby, come back and finish the cooking. You know, I find them as magicians. And so there is the need for us to readdress the mental understanding of the roles of men and women, not just in the political area sphere, but also economics and in the social and every other sector of our development. So
you were a gender minister in President Akufo-Addo's first term. How was the experience?
Yeah, from February 2017 to August 2018.
For a year?
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah.
How was the experience?
Over a year. Yeah. It was exciting. It was a great time. We had worked so hard to come into power, and 2008, you know, we lost the elections. 2012, we lost the elections, went to courts, lost. And so to win, And to be made, I was a minister. I was like, I was walking on cloud 10. You know, my work is changed. You know, like the dream had been finally fulfilled. The reason why I became a national women's organizer had finally come. The Boshena, it means Roshi.
Okay.
And so I was very excited, and I was consumed by my sense of responsibility that now I have been asked to go and touch this important ministry. People don't realize how important the Ministry of Gender is.
So important.
It's the place where all vulnerable people come to for redress, social protection, the children, the women, the persons with disability. And that has been my passion. I worked in rural Ghana on issues like that to make a difference in the lives of children and women. So it's like I'd been given a blank check and now fill it in, you know. So I would wake up in the middle of the night writing ideas of what I wanted to do, and then listen to people, have all sorts of meetings. It was like a dream come true. So I was very excited and happy, and I moved up and down to try and sort out some of the gaps that I found there, and that I had witnessed with my time in rural Ghana. So for me, that position gave me an unprecedented opportunity to achieve the dreams that I had been struggling with in rural Ghana. I was working in 98 communities. But as a minister for gender, I could support and even bring, how do you call it, policies and legislation, get to parliament to bring up out like the affirmative action. I worked on it. So, and that will change the whole of the lives of Ghanaian children, women, and persons with disability and other vulnerable people. I got the opportunity of visiting all sorts of places that I would never have done. Met a lot of people, and for me it was such a blessing. I met a lot of horrible people, but I met a lot of good people, and they really, I call them my destiny helpers. They impacted on my life. Everybody needs somebody. You cannot get to A or B without somebody else impacting on your life. And so, being a minister of gender, I met wonderful destiny helpers, and I want to say, give them a shout out. Thank you for touching my life and for making me a better person. It was a great opportunity, and I don't regret it. I'm very happy that I got to be there. 1.5 years, but by God, I moved, and
you did a lot.
The grace of God. Yes, in that short time, it's like I knew that I wouldn't be there for long. I told you I would wake up to work, get to the office at dawn, come back very late. That made me a bad mother. Something will give, you know, when you're spending so much time trying to look at other people's problems. And the issues were many. And trafficking of children, of girls, violence against women, issues of witchcraft, the social welfare. Somebody went to Kumasi, a lady, and stole something, and then they stripped her naked and beat her up. That was an issue. You know, an old lady has issues, they think she's a witch. They beat her up. You have to look at those things. People on the streets, the children, the beggars, all sorts of things, people with mental issues. I organized what we call Operation Get Off the Street Now for a Better Life. And we used to actually get vehicles to go and pick up some of these people. And you know, the persons with disability, they actually came to demonstrate against me.
Goodness.
You say we should get off the street.
What should you
give us jobs?
Oh my goodness.
You know, and so it was exciting. Very hard work, but very fulfilling. Very, very fulfilling.
But one thing is so prominent in Ghana. I mean, we have a male-dominated environment. So we want to know how you were able to maintain your balance, or you were able to navigate through being in an environment where it's an assertive, male-dominated environment, and how you were able to also maintain your own leadership style. How were you able to do that?
Well, I'm one of 22 children. My father had 22 children and 10 wives. My mother left when I was 9 years. And so you are exposed to discrimination. And if you don't learn to speak up for yourself, then you are lost. And so from a very early age, I learned how to speak out for myself. And so it translated into my political life.
Okay.
That if I have something that I believe in, that I want to do, there is nothing that will stop me from doing it, unless the intervention of God. Because of my experiences as a child in that type of, in a polygamous home. And so in navigating, you must understand your worth. And that what you have to contribute is just as important as the next person. And so you don't allow anybody to disqualify you or to disqualify yourself.
Yeah, but when you do that, people perceive you to be too assertive, too rude.
What's wrong with being assertive? You are not rude, you are being assertive. The men speak their mind. What is wrong with the woman speaking her mind? And also you learn to lobby.
Okay.
You learn to lobby, network, and be able to exchange. Maybe somebody else wants something also from you and you also want something. So can you support me at this meeting to put this out? So there's all of that negotiating amongst your peers when you are there. But you must understand that you are not inferior because you are a woman. You are just like the man. It's just that you have a different sex orientation. And so you should not ever stop yourself because you are a woman. In navigating and trying to find a balance, you must be able to speak your truth. Do the things that you believe in. Don't allow yourself to be compromised just because you are a woman. And a lot of the time, I was the only woman in those meetings. When I went for my first election as a national women's organizer, out of the 10 elected officers, I was the only woman. Then others were appointed. So you see, the voices of women will be limited.
Yes.
And so why am I there? To keep quiet? Didn't go through all that election.
But
trouble.
did you receive such barriers, as in you were the men at the, I mean, during those meetings, were they trying to, did they try to pin you down in quotes, or not allow you to come out with your opinions, your whatever you had to also bring to?
Oh, sometimes if there is a decision that they felt that this is what they wanted, and then everybody is going that way, they would want you to go the same way
with
you
them.
Know? It's like a political. Yeah.
So how did you navigate? I'm interested in that. How did you make your voice?
Afisa Djaba. I always spoke my truth, like I said.
Okay.
If all of us agree that we are going to do something, and I feel that I am not in agreement with that, I will not follow the crowd. And I didn't. It cost me a lot. It created enemies. Today, some of them have not forgiven me for some of the decisions and the actions that I stood by. But in this life, you have the right to speak your truth. Yes, and that was my opportunity. I became a national women's organizer from a lot of hard work. And there were people counting on me to be there for them. And so if I am there and I follow the crowd, then I've compromised myself. Then there was no point in being there. And so I was true to myself. You work with integrity. I was brought up with values. And those things informed my decision making and my actions. I formed a lot of groups for my first vote. Girls for Nanadu. To do with prayers, the watchmen that we were. I believe in God. I'm a born again Christian. People don't know that about me. And I believe that it was the grace of God that brought us the victory. And so praying and fasting is something I didn't joke with. And sometimes you don't even have the funds to mobilize and things like that. By the grace of God, we were able to work and get the support to implement some of these activities from the police station up to national. And so it's very important that you stay true to yourself. In as much as you are in a group and you are a team player, you have some values and principles, and they should also dictate or determine your final decision making. And so if some things are being done that you are not in agreement with, it's a democracy. You have the right to disagree. And I remember one time I was the only person who disagreed. Okay. And I was like, this woman, what is wrong with her? Everybody is dancing Adwa, and you are dancing Damba. It was hell.
Okay.
But I don't regret it. All the decisions that I took, even from my family, being a member of the MPP was something that some of them were not happy about. But my father left the CPP and joined the Progress Party. And he brought me up that way. And I believe in the principles and policies of the MPP. So it didn't matter that some people in my family were of a different party. If they have the right to be in that party, how can they stop me from being where I want to be? You understand?
All right, so we'll go for a short break. We'll be right back. Welcome back. We are still on Election Desk on Ghanaweb TV, and my guest is still Dr. Otiko Afisa Djaba, and we've been discussing women in politics. So, Doctor, before we went on break, we discussed your experience you've had so far being at the gender ministry. So, we also want to know your view regarding the Affirmative Action Bill. Did you play an integral role in that? In the passage of this bill, and what should we expect from that? What do you think about this bill?
It's historic. So I was overwhelmed with joy. I was elated. I danced to, what's the name of that song? Defe. The promise of our ancestors for democracy and for independence of all Ghanaians. It didn't see the independence of women. But with the passage of the Affirmative Action Bill, we saw the potential of us women in Ghana.
Do you think it will have any effect
freedom
with regards to this year's election?
I will come to that.
Okay.
Yeah, but the bill in itself was something that should have happened a long time ago.
Okay.
But we say better late than never. My role in it, because others have worked, like I said, on it before I came. Every minister for gender has done something on it. And so at the time that I got there, Madam Oye had also taken it to cabinet, but because they had lost the election, we had to now look at it again. So I set up a technical team. Okay. And then we repackaged it. Had a lot of consultations and with parliamentarians, traditional rulers, all sectors of people. Okay. And then we took it back to cabinet. They felt that it needed some watering down. I must thank Professor Michael Kwe Senior, who really was of the opinion that any bill that has no bites is not worth having. And so we, even though they wanted us to water it down, we maintained quotas and other things. Unfortunately, I was asked to leave the ministry, and so others came and they also worked on it. And then finally, Nana, the current MP, who has worked very hard on it, Nana Dakwa Newman, to be able to get it to where it is that it has been passed. So it is a fantastic opportunity for the whole country. It's not about women. Okay. The empowerment of women is a national agenda, because it is the woman that nurtures all the children, and when she is empowered, then the society will be empowered. Yes. And then in terms of representation and making sure that at all levels of development, social, political, economic, educational, the numbers in terms of parity is going to be progressive for this current bill. It is not going to be something that will happen at once, like this year. It will not happen. And so from now, we are in 2024, until 2028, we're expecting to look at, I think it's about 30%, no, 2026, yes, to get to about 30%. Then from 2026 to 2028, to get to 35, yes. Then 2030, then we get to parity, 50-50. Yes. That is 6 years. It seems almost impossible. For 67 years, you have not been able to do this. And you think that in 6 years. So it will require a lot of collective and united effort from both the men and the women. Okay. And the women who have also worked on it, from the coalition, Dr. Rose Putin and co, Hilary Bedema, all those women, Sheila Minkapreku, look, they are the pioneers. They have fought a good fight. And I'm happy that in our lifetime, it has been passed. We're waiting for the president's assent. Okay. Beyond the assent, there must be massive communication. across the length and breadth of Ghana.
Okay.
So that a fembe for every bird, every tree, every child, every boy, every woman, everybody must understand what is in it and what it is planning to do, so that we can own it, and then an implementation plan. There's going to be an LI as well, and a committee set up, and a whole load of different things, awards for people who are able to, organizations, private and public, who are able to ensure that gender equity and parity, equality are being effected in Ghana.
Okay.
It is the game changer
for
good governance. When you know, women are less corrupt and we are better managers. It's not a debate.
It will be very debatable.
Oh, it's not a debate. The men do. We are better drivers.
Okay.
And so we need to take this opportunity that people have died and they did not get to enjoy what we are going to do with it today. And so we must see it as a serious opportunity and responsibility to get out of the boat and walk on water. That means think outside the box, change the mindset of our sons and our daughters and our men and the women, all of us together working for the common goal of empowering women. You see how Ghana will change. You know, it is not a competition between men and women.
Okay.
It is saying that you have been unfair to women, the disparities have not helped the home, it has not helped the society, it has not helped the country.
Okay.
And unless we bridge the gap, you cannot hold back 52% of your population and expect to be running like Usain Bolt. You've actually tied one leg and nobody can run as fast with one leg. Or like the bird, you've clipped their wings. We need to, through this bill, unleash the full potential of women. Then you will see development at the pace at which we want. Everybody wants to see a beautiful Ghana, a better Ghana. I have 2 daughters. I want to see them in a Ghana they are happy and proud to be in. Not that they will want to leave because they are not being treated well, they are being discriminated against and marginalized, excluded because they are women. I mean, Rwanda has done it. Ghana, the black star of Africa, the beacon of democracy. And so we have to run with it and change the mindset of our people and enforce the laws. That's my other problem. We don't enforce things. Ghana has signed almost every law and protocol from the UN, and yet the enforcement is very poor. And then we must put money. Let money go into what you say. A poor man has no voice. So empower the affirmative action by putting the budget. The Ministry of Gender, the budget is like this, peanuts. And yet there are so many problems that need funding. And so we need, as a people, to ensure gender responsive budgeting. And when that is there, the DC or MC or where, they should not use the money for gender for item 13. It is for gender matters. And when we say that every child of school-going age must be in school, the social welfare must be well-resourced to ensure that no girl is left out or being betrothed at 16 by some traditional god or whatever. You understand? These are serious times, and we must be serious about ensuring the empowerment of women. You cannot talk and then the women, yes, it's good to talk and drink tea and have these workshops, but the time has come to hit the road, to be on the ground, and the women themselves with the men must take action. We have talked plenty. So it's time for action to change our sons. Your son must cook and clean, and your child too, your girl child must be on the computer, and she must, if she wants to be an engineer, a doctor, whatever. And when they come home, my daughter, she has a master's degree. You both come home, then you say, hey, she's a woman, she should be cooking, and you are sitting there reading newspaper. My daughter must read newspaper too, And so we must understand that development is together. Development in the home, then it will go to the community and the society. So men, when you come from work, help with the house chores so that we all finish quickly and go and watch whatever we want to watch, or have a time that is a leisure time. You understand? You must understand that unless your woman is economically sound and well educated, your children might not get that kind of education. And when you are not well and you are not working, and when you die, men die, Most men die before women.
It's true.
What happens
It's true.
to the home where the woman has not been empowered?
It's true.
There are so many single parents around who are women. In households, we have women who are breadwinners. And if they are not empowered, how are they going to take care of the children? And when there is a divorce, the man tends to leave the children for the woman. And that is why Ghana must wake up and empower every girl child and every woman for our own sake. Because when you do that, your house will be stronger. And then the community, because women have so many ideas, very intelligent. It's not just about looks, so when they are looking for chief or wisdom, call Abrewaneho. But when it comes to decision making in the politics, they Kowechi. From where?
From where?
No woman should go behind or go back. It's forward. The time is we will be forward, walking side by side and working side by side with our men. And when you are a girl child, you go to school, learn and prepare, sit in front. So that when they ask questions, you can answer well. Don't sit at the back and then every day worry last. I know I say anything. It's a competitive world.
Yeah.
And so in school, you must learn and prove your worth. And then move into the work arena and work hard. Women work 10 times harder than men because it's like we have to prove why we are there. Why should I prove my worth? It's because you are ignorant about my worth, or you are deliberate because you have a mother who, because she nurtured you, you are who you are. Then you meet somebody's wife or daughter and you think that she is nothing. Your wife will go somewhere. Somebody too will think that she is nothing. And what kind of a society is that? There must be a balance. We have to readdress all the disparities against women with the Affirmative Action Bill. We don't have a choice and we don't have time. 2030 is when the SDGs, the whole world is going to account for the different SDG goals. And in terms of SDG goal, I think 8, about equity and equality. What will Ghana say?
I think it's goal 5.
Goal 5, good. So if we are not able to do all these things before 2030, what are we going to say? Currently in Parliament, we only have 14.5%.
14.5.
Quite a lot of the women lost their seats during the primaries.
They did.
So that's why I'm saying that this year's election, it will be very difficult for any impact. But they can plan, have an action plan, implementation plan, communication plan, begin to address all the issues that need to, for preparatory grounds for 2025. Then the ball will just hit the road running. That is my
So your final words, do you have any advice for female candidates running the 2024 elections? With your experience you have gathered over the years, do you have any experience? Do you have any advice for them?
If you, number one is that you are the best thing that ever happened to Ghana, to your constituency, to your home. And so you must believe in yourself. You are unique because you are the creator of both men and women. You are the vessel of creation. And so you must have principles and you must have values and understand your worth to be able to speak your truth. You must train yourself through education and other courses so that when you are delivering with confidence. Knowledge empowers you to be more confident. And because you are a change agent, you must be bold. You must swallow your fears and step out with courage. And determine the things that are important: education, sanitation, finances, all the things that you need. And then you have to identify godfathers and godmothers so that they will support you. You must have a good support mechanism. And let people understand that it is okay for a woman to be a leader, to be an MP, to be a managing director. It is okay. And anybody who thinks it's not okay, that is their problem. Don't allow anybody to disqualify you. And don't disqualify yourself for any reason. Wake up early. Ensure that you balance the housework, the children, the marriage. You want to go for a course, go. Because you have to upgrade yourself. You don't say that because I'm a mother, I will not. If you don't upgrade yourself, your children will suffer. And so for whatever reasons, you must understand that you deserve the best. Nyame ball just the way our ball bema.
Yeah.
And no man is better than you, and you are also not better than somebody. But you are the best thing since sliced bread. And so you for work hard and happy yourself and look sharp.
Okay.
And find funding for your political activities and what have you. Anything that you feel that you have to do, you must have a strategy.
Okay.
You must have a good plan and work towards that plan.
Okay.
It starts with the dream.
Okay.
So don't dream small, oh.
Okay.
Dream big. When you dream big, you have the vision, then you work big.
Okay.
You find the energy.
Okay.
It's not enough to have passion, oh.
Okay.
Passion is passion, but you need the action to go with it. And you need good people, campaigners and what have you to help you. And the other thing I would like to say is that failure is not the end of the world. Failure is just the beginning of change, that you should think differently and go back to the drawing board and do it. And so even if you go for an election and you lose, go again. You can go 10 times. It's your life, right? And so it doesn't matter how many times you fall. It's how you get up, how you manage the failure, and how you move forward and ensure that nobody tells you that you are not good enough. Because like I said, you are the best thing, Ohema of Ghana. Don't let anybody distract you or take you away from your goal. You must be focused and determined. And the girl of tomorrow, I have 2 daughters. The next generation, you are what it's all about. All the struggles that we've gone through is for tomorrow's girl child. Don't let anything stop you. You are beautiful, you are smart, you are where it is at. Digitalize yourself, open your mind, learn and go. The sky is the beginning. Soar and take Ghana to the next level, because we want to see a beautiful Ghana in our lifetime. Yeah, and so I don't want my daughter or my great-granddaughters to also come and suffer. And nobody should come and ask the questions you're asking. You should be asking, so when are you next going to be the president of Ghana? You understand? That is what I am looking for the girl child. The next generation, when are you going to the moon? That is what have you found a cure for malaria? You understand? Understanding your worth, believing in yourself, and moving your house, your community, depends on your transformation. If you transform yourself, you can then transform others. And so tomorrow's child who is present today must do everything to transform herself, because she herself is a change agent, and she is expected to be responsible and to do the right thing by herself in Ghana. Don't sleep with anybody, especially if you don't like the person because of t-shirt or the education or something. It's not worth it. They will use it to undermine you when you get up. That is my other thing. You are too special to lower your standards. Pitch the bar high, and stand well. They might say, what is wrong with it? Somebody too might say you are righteous. Is it wrong to be righteous? You are who you are based on your values. So be principled and don't look for favors. I hear that girls are for sanitary pad. Then they will go and get how much is sanitary pad? 20 Ghana. You go and sleep with some guy that you don't like for sanitary pad. Master, people are buying cars for women. They are building houses. So it's not sanitary pad matter. They are paying school fees, papa be all over. I'm not saying that go and do that.
Yeah.
But I'm saying understand your worth.
Yes.
And when you reduce your standards, you are degrading yourself.
Yeah.
And parents must ensure that they provide properly for the girls.
Okay.
And educate them that where we don't have, understand that it will change.
Yeah.
You don't have to sell yourself short ever. Because Ghana needs you to be proud of yourself and to do the things that make you special. Because the Ghanaian girl, the Ghanaian woman, she is special and she is the change maker of this great Ghana. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor, for sharing your experiences and your thoughts with us. The show has been Election Desk with me, Matilda Boatin Nati. Thanks for watching.